So now we're recording. So welcome back, folks. Today in this video I want to give you some kind of an in-depth, as I told you before, why do I send this guitar back? So because there are some reasons that I want to share with you today, and yeah, I would say let's dive in and let's find it out. Let's go. Okay, let's start with the first point on the list. I would say is why I sent it back. The first reason, and that sounds a bit weird because it is an Esquire, and I know that. It's story time again a bit to explain myself. Point number one is it is too harsh sounding. It is too bright, too trebly, whatever. Now, before you rage in the comment section or whatever, it's an Esquire, oh my god, are you stupid, what did you expect? I know all of that. It's story time. I played Epiphone Les Pauls till 2 years or 2.5 years ago. It was my main guitar for over 10 years that I played Epiphone Les Paul only, or Gibson Les Pauls only. I had a pretty generously girlfriend a couple of years ago, or 1 year ago. She gifted me a Fender Stratocaster as a Christmas present. And then it started that I took my time and spent it in watching Fender videos or whatever. 1 year later, I had a Strat at that time, and I turned 30 last year. And yeah, friends in my family and everyone was asking me what do I want to, as a Christmas, as a birthday present. I told them I just want to have money from everyone so that I can buy a guitar. So, because I like the idea that I have a guitar as my birthday present for my 30th birthday, because it's some kind of a special birthday. I received a guitar that is behind the camera for my 18th birthday. So I really liked the idea that I also received a guitar for my 30th birthday. So did I say it right? 18th and 30th, and I'm not sure. And that's the reason why I received the Telecaster. And the Telecaster is the most important guitar that I ever received, because it totally changed my world in terms of music and the music that I listen to and the style that I play and everything. Because I received this guitar, and it's a self-relict classic Y50 style in white blonde. So there are a lot of videos about that guitar on my channel, so if you want to know more about it, check that out. And I had a Telecaster, and every time when I have a new guitar in a style that I don't know, I start to do some research. What do musicians play with a Telecaster? And I found guys like Jim Campolongo, English grammar today, who is one of my biggest heroes today. And I spent a lot of time listening to him, listening to interviews, style playing, whatever. But I also found guys like Roy Buchanan that I also love like no one else. I put a lot of Roy Buchanan style things into my own playing. And that is the point that is pretty important to understand why I don't like an Esquire 1.5 years later. Because 1.5 years ago I played an Esquire the last time in a guitar store pre-COVID. And at that point I was a totally different player. So I was pretty blues rock oriented. That is the main reason why I'm not into Esquires now, because of the changes that I had because of the Telecaster. My style of playing changed so much into more MIDI tone, more bassy tone style, that it's not the guitar for me. And I didn't think about that before I buy the guitar. Wow, that was a long story short. But let's dive into why I finally, sorry if you're still here, I really appreciate that. But let's dive in why I don't like the guitar and why I would send it back. So, oh wow, that was the longest intro ever. So, let's go. Let's talk about the guitar. And first I want to say some things that I like about the guitar. The things that I like about the guitar is the fretboard. It's pretty dark in a way. I like dark fretboards. I don't like this orange brown power ferro Epiphone looking. I love Lake Placed Blue. I love the cream bindings that is around and stuff. I don't like the input. so much. I can show you the different option on my Telecaster that I like a bit more because it's way more stable. It's that. Okay, there's a screw missing and everything is messed up, but you can see where the difference is between that guitar and that guitar. But that is not a reason to send a guitar back. Then we had the saddles that I changed. That's also something why I wouldn't send back a guitar, because as I said, I already did it to my Telecaster, so and I kept it. And I had a lot of problems with my Telecaster at the beginning. But there are videos, you can check that out. Then something that I also don't like is the weight, which is weird, which is pretty weird, because it has the same exact weight like my classified Telecaster over there. So that's pretty weird. But it seems a bit more, it doesn't feel right in your hand. I don't know if you know what I mean. It's some kind of this Ollivander, Harry Potter moment. You grab it and, I don't know, there's some kind of a light explosion in your mind or not. So, something that I also don't like on this guitar is this glossy neck. That's also not a reason to send it back. But at the end, it's the amount of things that come up to a bigger reason why I want to send it back. Next reason, and that is something pretty important. The frets are pretty noisy. There. Yeah, and some of you might say now, yeah, you just have to polish them, and what's so wrong with you? And I did it, so I want to make that clear. I took off the strings, polished every fret on this guitar, and it's still noisy. I don't know if they came up because of weather, to say it in lack of a better word. So it could be because of the transit or the shipping or whatever. So I'm not a fretboard expert. I just did to it what I could do. That is something that annoys me a bit. Last but not least, and that is the main reason, it has a pretty harsh sound. I can show it to you with my amplifier. I mean, it's not mic'd, and I really have to learn how to mic stuff. I know that. Especially because I have a microphone a good microphone over there, and a PC, and yeah. So let's make some sound examples. Start with your first position. The tone up is not involved. Go to the middle position. So the tone knob is now involved. So. So it's rolled down the tone about half. Let's go to the third position, which is not a reset position. It has a really weird sound, but maybe you know it already. Let's go. hit it hard. So that's a bit of sound examples. Every time I play it, sometimes I'm into some kind of, it's not that bad. And when sometimes I play it and it's like, now it's too harsh. I don't know what to use it for. So at the end, I have to say I will send it back. Yeah, but that's it for this video. So that's the reason why I will send it back. In general, I'm a bit and there's more. And there's a weird, and I never experienced that before. There's a weird space in between. You can see that? My finger is almost barely fitting between the tuners. But barely. There's no space. So when I tune, I always running against the next tuner. And the weirdest part is that it also is like that when I'm using my string winder. So when I want to wind this string, I have to put the other one in some kind of weird position that I can turn this without any problems. And I hurt my fingers because of that. And especially when you use a tuning peg for some kind of a style in your playing, like in Monkey on a Movie from Camp Longo. Wow, I can't do it with that guitar because they are too close together and they're too hard to move. So as you see, it's everything that is wrong about that guitar. So, and you have to keep in mind, the sound was, when you say, oh, it wasn't that harsh, it is because of the brass saddles on it. It was a steel saddle, so it was a totally different game. It was way more harsh, metally sounding. So, you have to decide yourself if you are bothered by stuff like that or not. So, but for me, I don't feel home. So, and that is something that I realized, or that I remembered when I'm thinking about my Telecaster. It feels like home every time I grab it. So, and there's something that I want from a guitar. There's something I expect from a guitar. I also had a hard fight with my Dual Sonic, and now I'm super happy that I kept it. Yeah, but that's it for this video. I am pretty sure it will be a pretty long video, pretty nerdy again. But as I said, that's the reason why I do a second video. So the first video isn't a half hours long, and I could give you a really in-depth review of the guitar, so you can decide yourself if you like it or not, if you want to buy it or not. I mean, at the end of the day, I always would say give it a try. So, because as we all know, a guitar is huge part of the guitar. It's just the products that we take out of nature, and every guitar sounds a bit different. You can play 5 Esquires from the same series, always with sound. Every guitar will sound a bit different, a bit better, a bit less. So, yeah. But that's it for the video. I hope you liked it, and I will see you in the next one, and I'm out. Bye.